Hollywood, and the reason you don't know these stories is there's no one to tell you these stories. You have to be willing to do things that most of us would go, you don't do that.
Now, you do you. Say, I have nothing to prove. All I got to do is keep being Steve Harvey that he's been for over 20 years.
Katt Williams is known for his outstanding talent as a comedian, but recently, he has been in the spotlight as a whistleblower in the show business. Apparently, Katt has a lot of tea on his fellow colleagues, and this time, he came forward speaking against one of the most powerful figure of the industry, comedian Steve Harvey. And as Katt says, every Harvey's achievement is a result of him selling his soul to Hollywood. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. Well, it's not a secret that Katt Williams and Steve Harvey don't really get along, and their beef traced back to December 2008. However, it seems like Katt is now ready to tell the world how it all played out for both of them, and why Steve eventually made it big while people like himself were blackballed and labeled crazy.
Let's not hear your confusing story.
Let's
hear the truth and watch how crisp and clean it is. And
Katt Williams is tired to see the fake talents like Steve Harvey being crowned as kings of comedy, so made a huge step toward exposing the shady side of the show business and how people get it all by selling their souls and doing the things that are borderline creepy for fame and wealth.
you're not gonna like what it is that they want, but that doesn't,
And it's no wonder that Katt came after one of the most prominent figures in stand-up because, in the past, he already tried to expose Harvey for his lack of talent. First, it was no more than a challenge when Katt addressed Steve saying, "But the second that you get on stage, I need you to understand that that's your final time as the king of comedy. Water seeks its own level. You can't stop it, Playboy. It is what it is, so I hope you're ready. Got a team of writers. You're gonna need about 6 or 7 of them." And in reply, Steve Harvey said that he wouldn't even be talking about no names like Katt Williams. And it seems like ever since that reply, Katt has been secretly mad at Steve for rising to fame and glory in a not-so-honest way. So he decided to share the harsh truth about Steve and tell the world how real talents who don't want to follow the harsh industry rules get less publicity than those who eager to do anything for money.
In 20 years, I never been on a commercial audition in my life. I never let my tour get sponsored when I was broke or now.
It's not a secret these days that publicity is a key to getting a bigger fan base. And as Katt Williams says, he wanted to make it big in an honest way. But sadly, all the best positions in the show business are reserved for people like Steve Harvey, who choose selling their soul over hard work. Well, Steve Harvey's not the most pleasant persona in Hollywood, and you all remember how horribly this man treats his own staff. This shocking letter only showed how hard it is to be in Steve Harvey's presence. And apparently, he didn't even want his team around because he directly told everyone to stay away from him and not to disturb the king of comedy getting ready for his new show. The part of that memo read, "Do not come to my dressing room unless invited. Do not approach me while I'm in the makeup chair unless I ask to speak with you directly. Do not take offense to the new way of doing business. It is for the good of my personal life and enjoyment." As Harvey explained, he just wanted a bit of peace on set. And what seems to be most shocking for Katt in the story is the fact that many fellow celebrities supported Steve and even said it was totally normal to issue a memo like this.
But that memo that you put out to your staff at the old show, telling everyone to leave you alone, I just want you to know that I agree.
As Williams say, when you are selling your soul to Hollywood, you can basically get away with anything and do whatever you want without being punished. And apparently, Steve Harvey was very much enjoying his position of a powerful and influential person because from that moment on, he began thinking of himself very highly and even acting disrespectfully towards his colleagues, and namely Katt Williams as well, when Steve publicly said he doesn't even consider Katt's opinion valuable because he's no one.
I understand that I didn't know who he was when I was on the radio in L.A. He hadn't been in any movies or anything. And, the brother was just not that known.
And it seems to Katt Williams that Steve already got in his diva mood because the more success and wealth he acquired, the worst person he was becoming. And while it was almost impossible to make it big by not selling your soul and body to the industry elites, people like Steve were playing with their newly acquired wealth like it was a toy and neglecting his obligations. Like when he was sued for not paying for private jet upgrades. As it was told, Harvey wanted to make changes to a private jet and add extra seating, custom interior design, and seat design alterations. Harvey only paid half of the fee for the changes to the aircraft before stating that he no longer was interested in flying on the jet. And after that, Steve actually wonders why no one likes him.
It was like I was this horrible person. I'm really a nice guy, but I'm such a nice guy. People just take advantage of it.
As Katt Williams says, these people who choose to sell their souls to the industry start to believe that they are untouchable, and there never would be consequences for their actions. However, many fans agree with the comedian, and it's more than clear that the show business is rotten to its core with divas like Steve. As one person commented, "It amazes me how the celebrities act like there are not consequences to their choices." And another user added, "Katt doesn't sugarcoat. He ain't a sellout like the majority of these entertainers. That's why he will forever be a legend in my book." And if you think that Katt Williams is only mad at Steve because of their beef, let's remember how many other people Mr. Harvey, the famous relationship guru and father of many kids. Well, Steve is not the person who the majority of people think he is.
And has been married 3 times. How could he possibly write a book on relationship? How can he be a guru?
In 2011, Steve's reputation and image were gravely tarnished when his feud with his ex-wife, Mary, became public. Mary shared a lot of previously unknown info about her ex-husband, Steve, on her YouTube channel. She used her account to allege that the comedian had multiple affairs during their marriage, including with his current wife, Marjorie Harvey.
And with the power. He's in 60 markets. He's written these books. You know, he's socially connected with the programs and Disney and all these types.
As Katt Williams thinks, it's just crazy that Steve managed to secure a position of a relationship guru while his own personal life has always been a complete mess. And the drama with alleged cheating is just the beginning because later, other horrible secrets surfaced when Mary Harvey tried to come forward and expose Steve as a bad parent who was mistreating his own son, Winton. And despite the gag order Harvey had slapped her with, she decided to expose his true nature.
Because what is that? There's no progress in not doing anything. There's no progress in keeping your mouth shut.
It was alleged that Steve used a belt, then a paddleboard as methods of punishment for unmade homework. And apparently, he used so much force that these tools left bruises on Winton's butt, thigh, and legs. The boy shared other troubles he had experienced in the aftermath of his parenting, like being unable to use the toilet properly. And guess what happened? Well, Steve was cleared of all charges. And what Katt finds the most horrible in the whole story, that Hollywood does nothing to protect the victims of all these stories. And even the opposite, the main villain gets full immunity because he is protected by the elites. Over years, Harvey's behavior and statement made so many eyebrows raise, but you know what, guys, he always emerges from any feud and battle unscathed. And Katt Williams could have had the same if he chose to sell his soul as well.
You can't buy me, not because I'm not for sale. You can't buy me because I'm not in the store.
And if we believe Katt Williams, people like Steve get full immunity, so they feel free to do whatever they want, even the most unimaginable things because they were promised the patronage of the industry elites in exchange for their compliance. And it seems like for Steve, things work wonderfully. He is rich with the current net worth of $200 million. Successful, influential, his books are bestsellers, and his life reminds a fairy tale, just because of one decision to join the shady club of Hollywood elites. But as Katt said, he prefers to stay true to himself rather than being a puppet in the hands of the industry elites who boss people like Steve around, tell them what to do.
Like, I dress myself, like, I don't have a stylist. Like, my point is, I can't win over there because I don't play.
Well, this can be one of the reasons why Katt Williams is still highly respected by his fans. And netizens quickly jumped to support him on social media for being honest and raw in this world of fakeness and chase for money. As one person commented, I definitely believe Katt. He's been in the industry and he's always speaking truth. I'd love to sit and talk with Katt. Nothing is coincidental. And another user added, makes sense what Katt is saying, which means that the people who hold the power are steps ahead of everyone else. They know their targets very well. Well, Katt Williams could become the voice of reason for the industry, but sadly, it seems like he's being completely ignored by his fellow celebrities. And what do you think about this, guys? Has Steve Harvey actually sold his soul in exchange for fame? Or has he made his way on top through honest work and talent? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other videos about the shady side of the industry. They're well worth your time. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and I promise to be back very soon.